Oh, I'm sorry. What is up? We're live?
Yeah, you're live.
We're live. What's up, everybody? This is Chad 10 Sports. Welcome in to another week. Super Bowl is in the books.
Yep.
NFL's gone.
It's quite super.
It is. It was super snoozer if you're into the old...
Snooze fest.
If you're into the old football league, the national one.
Those defensive wonderfuls, they loved last night.
You guys know me. I was going to say, I like some defense, but that
too.
was a little too much.
But not my Super Bowl.
Yeah. But anyways, Chat 10 Sports. I'm Trey Wynn, Kurt McKibben, Chase Green. Fresh off the slopes.
Yep, back from West Virginia, from wonderful Snowshoe.
Give us a PG version. Had a good time with the boys.
Good, wholesome fun. Left at about 10:30 from Johnson City. Arrived at Snowshoe about 4:30. If you ever go in the backwoods of West Virginia, make sure you got the four-wheel drive in February.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great trip.
Jumping in real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a crazy, obviously crazy game last night. Halftime show. We're going to talk about everything. Commercials, the whole nine. We'll debate some things and then get into some ball basketball. Kimmy, what else you got, man? Any NBA quick little hits?
Well,
We're talking about Anthony Davis a little bit before the show.
I've seen some stupid trade offers for the Anthony Davis from the Lakers. He also came out and said he would be open to joining Giannis Antetokounmpo on a long term. It's a sacrifice to join the Greek Freak. For a long term deal up there in Milwaukee as well.
Mm-hmm.
No one can offer what the Lakers or the Celtics could do. Anthony Davis' dad said you saw what basically how they treated Isaiah Thomas, so I don't want my son playing in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of drama. Nothing's happened. Nothing at all has happened. Really, no. Other than the DeAndre Jordan, Kristaps Porzingis, that whole New York. That's the only big trade so far.
Let's talk about that because I'm thinking I saw, and I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest NBA fan, but who won that trade? Would you say? I mean, with Porzingis going with Luka to Dallas, and it's like the Knicks just still have two sticks to rub together and hope for the best. Did they get a load? I mean, as far as picks or anything like that?
No, but it's a huge cap opener. Like it's one of those that if things work out, the Knicks win. Right?
Yeah, the Knicks can now pay two people the max deal. The rumor is Kyrie and KD, along with the first overall draft pick, i.e. Zion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Dennis Smith Jr. is a great point guard that they got. I think the Knicks won. Kristaps has health concerns, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's really tall, and tall people have bad knees.
Yeah.
And he's really young, and he's had a little bit of issues with that already. If he stays healthy, him and Luka will carry the Mavericks for years.
Exactly. So they're both in that if everything works out train.
Right. And they sent your boy Timmy Hardaway down there too.
Yeah, you got a fine pick there. And it was one of those things for the Knicks. I love Timmy, but if Timmy Hardaway is your best player right now, you're not in a good spot.
Him
might
or
as well just cash that season out.
Him or Kevin Knox, right?
Yeah.
The rookie out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
But that's the only big trade really thus far. I'm hoping to see some big ones. We've got how many days now?
3, something like that. I don't remember.
Trade deadline. That's worth.
I think it's NBA. I honestly don't know off the top of my head, but we got some viewers in here right now. I wanted to say hello to everybody since we're getting kind of a little start. But do us a favor while Kibby looks that up as far as the NBA trade deadline. Share the show for us if you have friends. We're talking Super Bowl from last night. We'll talk some Vols basketball. And then we have a new segment at the end that we're going to talk some TV and entertainment. Yeah. And then have our usual agree or disagree in between segments. But what you got?
Thursday.
This Thursday.
The 7th.
Yeah.
Next Thursday.
As a Grizzlies fan, that's
is it okay? I'm a week.
As a Grizzlies fan, I would like to see us make some moves, get something for the two big stars that have carried us for over a decade now. Yeah. They're both playing great. They actually got a win last night. I think it was last night. Against the Knicks.
Poor Knicks.
So, hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
That's like 2 this month, or 2 in the past month. So, we'll take it. But we'll see how it all shakes out. Apparently, the free agency of this next offseason is supposed to be monumental. It's going to shape how everything is laid out as far as leagues and where the talent kind of sits. It seems like everyone wants to group up these days. I get tired of how much control I think a player has.
Yeah.
That Anthony Davis can just say, well, I don't want to go here. Like
Charles Barkley said that and kind of got some heat from other people.
Other players.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of rigged it in their favor nowadays. And to me, the league suffers because, and maybe it's just me that roots for a small market Memphis team. I'm sorry, but Giannis is never coming to Memphis.
No.
Like, none of the big stars are coming to Memphis and smaller markets in general. And so it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of handicaps you where you put the best players, and I get it, money-wise, you want the big names in New York and L.A.
Yeah.
But it's just the parity has gotten out of control.
Yeah, if you don't draft him, like Giannis kind of wound
Right.
up in one of those because Milwaukee drafted him. He's set,
Right.
he's fine up there, but unless you get lucky and draft
Right.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
Yeah, one of those. No big deal.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I was telling these guys today with NBA, obviously the Vols are killing it in basketball, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, it's more and more of an intriguing thing. Obviously, the two local teams we were talking about, I haven't pledged my fandom to a particular team, and it's probably best.
Don't
probably,
do it.
Yeah, best I enjoy from a
No,
distance.
just hang out and watch.
But for everyone rolling in here, yeah, this is Chat 10 Sports. We are designed basically for fans to come in, share their opinions. We usually talk Tennessee sports. This week we're going to talk some Vols, but we're going to hit the Super Bowl because it was kind of a hot topic, if you will, or a cold topic, depending on, on which side of the aisle you're on there. But yeah, come in. Our chat on Facebook and on Periscope is wide open for you to share your opinions and your thoughts, and we want to interact with you. Also, check out Chat 10 Sports. We got our articles up. It's the database and hub for all things Chat 10 for our podcast. You can watch us on YouTube, rewatch our live shows on Facebook and Periscope every single week.
Yep.
And then follow these guys on Twitter and myself as well. We're interactive on our own little right, I guess, as far as what we think is cool and going on.
Yeah.
Special offer right now. You could be one of my first 30 followers if you follow me.
Get it while it's hot.
So close.
But yeah, well, I wanted to let everybody know that your opinions are more than welcome here. But guys, let's jump straight into the Super Bowl number 53. Interesting show.
Yeah.
What were your expectations going into the game? What did you think was going to go down? Who was your favorite? Who did you want to win? And go.
I did want the Patriots to win. I was like, well, go ahead and get maybe the more Tom wins, the more he'll want to get the heck out of the NFL. But it's not the case. He's going to still be around kicking. But I definitely expected more offense, especially after what we saw in the conference championship games.
Yeah.
I was expecting 38-31 again or something like that. It just didn't happen. But that's the scheme, man. You give coaches 2 weeks in the NFL, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, and Belichick, I mean, he showed his talents with how they were able to, take. I mean, Sean McVay as the coach that he is, and the name, and what he's done for their offense for Jared Goff, but even for Jared Goff, and even Todd Gurley. We talked about it a little bit before the show. Gurley was 10 carries and basically non-existent.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah, Goff was, pedestrian at best. Yeah, and then it was kind of a disheartening thing because they didn't even get into the red zone last night. Which is just, and like we said, I'm a big defense guy, but it was just to the point that you couldn't get anything off the ground offensively where you want to see the back and forth and, one guy makes a punch and the other lands it and counters it or whatnot. Nothing of that nature. Tippy, what did you think about the game?
So first off, I heard this today. I didn't know that it was true. I thought it was a joke, but over-under was 55.5.
Wow.
So that tells you what Vegas is not wrong often. If they're wrong, they're usually barely wrong. But way off. And I expected that game. I expected a game in the 20s, maybe even broaching the winner in the 30s.
Yeah.
Not even close, man.
Yeah.
For 3.5 quarters, that game was snooze-worthy. I mean, good to see some good defense in a league that's been so offense-heavy this season, I feel like. Yeah. And that kind of tapered off towards the end. Like you said, more film. Defenses got a little bit more preparation, kind of saw some things to shut down certain schemes and such. But, man, Tom Brady does it again. It was like when he got that last drive. Well, I guess it was the next to last drive technically, but the one where they drove down and scored. When he got the ball, I was just like,
here we go.
Yeah.
I wanted to turn it off. I wanted to leave the party I was at right then. And just be like, I'm going to go to bed a little bit less salty. But no, I stayed and watched the whole thing. Man, you got to respect it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it was the guys that you think are going to make plays that make plays. Edelman's your MVP. You got Gronk making the catch of his lifetime right there at the
Right,
2-yard
right.
line.
That's
Like,
gorgeous.
it's just one of those, like, everybody that you expect to make plays made plays for New England. It wasn't like, usually they have somebody that kind of, some weird player steps
Right.
up and has a game of his life. Rex Burkhead was somebody I thought would probably wind up having 3 touchdowns,
Be the
just-
MVP.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope, they just did exactly what they usually do.
There was one play that, and this was, I think, Brandon Cooks had I think, seam route from right next to where I guess the tight end would be lined up, but just straight in the field, and Devin McCourty came from out of nowhere to break it up. It hit his hands, and the next play, I think he actually golfed through the pick. So just thinking that was one of those plays where it's like, all right,
Could have gone either way.
yeah, it could have gone either way, but it's like once that happens, it's like this is the Patriots game.
Right.
It's just going.
Aren't the McCourty brothers, the twins, are they retiring
I don't know about
after this season?
I don't know.
I think I heard something like that.
Maybe.
Good for Jason. I mean, going from the Titans last year, he was on the 0-16 Browns, and now he's a Super Bowl champ
It's awesome.
with the Patriots.
Gronk also played every snap, which is crazy because he's been
Everybody wants him to retire.
he's been well known to have some health issues. This season, I think he played most games.
Yeah.
But for him to play every snap, that shows you they saw something they liked with the big man out there.
Did, especially the game before too. And you saw Gronk getting some looks and make some big time plays, even on Eric Berry. And man, like it's pretty crazy to see. And also, I didn't even think about it until watching the game. Sonny Michel played in the NCAA championship last year in the Georgia Dome or whatever
Mercedes-Benz, yeah.
Dome now, and then again wins the Super Bowl the next year in the same city. It's crazy, man.
He's doing something right, I
That's,
guess.
he's living right.
Yeah.
He's living right, boys.
No.
Two Georgia backs, right?
Yeah.
Starting. I think Gurley, we talked about, probably had an injury of some sort.
There's got to be something like
Seemed to be a decoy most of the time. If they were actually going to run the ball, they handed off to Biscuit, shy 300, C.J. Anderson.
big fella.
Which I got nothing but love for C.J. Anderson,
No,
man.
he
He's
can
kind of
play.
a journeyman. Been, Broncos, Panthers, now at the Rams. I mean, he was on
Cut
no
twice.
one's team at the beginning of the season. To say he stayed in shape is a relative term. He's still running the rock, though.
He's still running the rock.
To me, though, I feel like because you got Todd Gurley and he had 10 carries, didn't really do a lot. But
Like
who
10
else?
carries.
Who else do they really have on offense? Because I know Robert Woods is there.
Yeah.
They're all capable. Kind of
Yeah.
like the Patriots. They can make it happen. But Jared Goff being off on that night
Yeah.
was.
tough.
I mean, you can't do a thing to get it off the ground.
Their team kind of went downhill after Cooper Kupp got injured.
Yep.
I feel like because they had Kupp, Woods, and Cooks all out there. It was just like, who are you going to double team? Nobody.
Right.
And that was back when Gurley was a lot more healthy. They limped into that game. A lot of people said they shouldn't have been there. I say the Saints shouldn't have let it be that close.
Exactly.
That's my opinion on that. Yeah.
So, we look to see them being at the top of the league again next year.
Well, they're right now the two early ESPN power rankings for next year have the Rams number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Then the Chiefs.
I'm gonna say I saw the Chiefs were.
Chiefs, Saints, and then Patriots.
It's the same odds going into the
Right.
semis. So it's like, really? If we're going to do this again, we're going to put the Patriots as a dog.
We'll talk about it in a second in detail, but it's one of those things to me, like, as long as Tom Brady's here,
You can't really put your money against them.
if you're betting, I know everyone betting on that game last night, why would you ever bet against Tom Brady? I mean, it's a rare occurrence, especially when Saban loses in a national championship. In the last 4 or 5 years, I think the Patriots have won one.
That's crazy.
Or won it, so it's kind of been a back and forth for them. But let's talk about some commercials, Super Bowl commercials. For everyone watching, I don't know, my wife loves the commercials. Obviously, everyone has their hot take. I don't know if anybody had their favorite, or we actually have a list that we've got pulled up. Some of the more famous ones were the Bud Light
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones kind of medley, or I guess mashup there, if you will. T-Mobile had some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. I didn't see this live, but there was a Twilight Zone with Jordan
Oh,
Peele.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
They're apparently they're rebooting it where he is
That's awesome.
going to be producing it and kind of getting into that interesting mix.
Yeah, no, I mean he did the Get Out movie. It was awesome.
Yeah.
He had something to do with the Spike Lee joint. The Black Klansman was a really good movie I watched.
I want to see that.
It was definitely worth a watch. So he's definitely starting to branch out away from. I mean, I'm sure he's. I'm pretty sure he's one of the writers of Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's a good show. But it's good to see him doing some movies, and I don't know what format.
Speaking of movies, the Avengers Endgame gave us absolutely nothing.
I don't know.
They give us like 2 trailers, right?
They had one. And then there was Captain Marvel.
Okay.
I didn't see the Captain Marvel one.
Again, it's like a little bit
Dangle
more
the
footage.
carrot.
But it's funny because I'm kind of a nerd for Marvel. There's 45 seconds of footage there, and people are making like 20-minute videos out of it, like dissecting everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked for Avengers Endgame.
Looks great, man.
Stella Artois had a hilarious, had the dude on from The Big Lebowski, and then Sarah Michelle Gellar was on. But I think the winner of the commercial debate was NFL 100.
That was my favorite.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
All right. So there's some dinner. Goodell's having a speech, and Marshawn Lynch looks over at the cake, and there's a golden football on top of this cake. He's trying to reach over to grab some icing. Falls over his chair, hits the cake, and the ball falls. And then Dick LeBeau, or what's his name?
Dick LeBeau?
No, I was going to say Butkus. Mike Singletary rips off his glasses and says, fumble! And then all the defensive guys got after the ball.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because they kept going. Like Joe Montana got the ball, throws it to Jerry Rice, and then Deion picks it off or whatever it is. It was just
like you saw Barry Sanders. They just had all sorts of awesome
players. Legends.
Yeah. And then at one point, Tom Brady goes, "Hold my rings" to like
Baker Mayfield.
To Baker Mayfield, and like hands him all the rings.
It was awesome.
It was like, oh.
And Baker was like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably my favorite for the simple.
My favorite.
I mean, Ninja, I know there was originally a commercial that had him in it, and
the YouTube guy.
He's the
gamer guy.
Yeah, gamer. I don't know exactly the Twitch.
Yeah,
all these.
He
all
makes
the
a lot of
now.
money off of twitching. The Eat Like Andy.
Yeah,
me was kind of a swing and a miss. I mean, it was just painfully awkward, which is Andy Warhol like. Right. I mean, what else did you expect? But
and that's really him. Is that right?
Yeah. I thought it was Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, I didn't think it was actually Andy, but it's an old school rapper there. Plain Jane, no cheese, dipping it in ketchup. Someone posted like, if you dip your burger into a pile of ketchup, you're a psychopath or something like that. Like
first step to a psychopath.
Yeah, it's a telltale sign.
Got some comments coming here. My brother Matt Wynn says Twilight Zone is coming back, and then Gavin just
exciting.
Says the Audi commercial. That was the one though. It's now an e-tron, I guess, an electric Audi. They've been producing. So they had a cool little, of course, I think the guy was dreaming. I can't think of it, Gavin, but yeah, that was one. There was to me this year, and I feel like every year it's like, oh, the commercials always kind of just suck,
Just not as good as they once were.
Yeah, and they don't live up to the hype, but it's one of those things. I thought this year
maybe we're just spoiled,
better than average.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do something new at this point in time too.
It is. You're really reaching.
Yeah,
really reaching at this point.
I love Mad Men. I don't know if you guys ever watched Mad Men, but like. Watching that show gave me a different perspective. It's like someone had to just sit around and think this up. So like I have a little more respect for it, but like we said, it's all been done by now.
Right.
So it's kind of tough to come out with something new.
Nothing new under the sun. Let's talk halftime show.
Oh.
Kibby is a huge Maroon 5.
Loves him. Huge fan.
He's got a tattoo across his belly that says Adam Levine.
Instead of California, it just says Adam Levine.
And then he has a big Adam Levine face shot.
It's a mural on the back. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Full back tattoo.
I would give it a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, man. It wasn't like the worst one we've seen in recent history, but
let me see the last 10 years.
I mean, let's be real here. Last year with Justin Timberlake,
pretty fire.
Pretty awesome. Yeah. I might just be a little bit of a homer.
Bruno Mars, I mean, that was
a good one.
Bruno is talented.
Gaga was okay.
Yeah.
She jumped off the side.
Yeah.
Like she was cliff driving. Yeah. I didn't love it. I thought I felt like Travis Scott and Big Boy kind of got shoved a little bit. However, they're just featured on the halftime show, but not the greatest.
I did hear. I saw a good tweet today talking about the rules for Nipplegate.
Right.
A little lenient for dudes.
It is.
You don't get the same.
A nipple's a nipple.
But I was kind of shocked. I mean, I wasn't shocked. I was surprised that he just all of a sudden. And you
popped
could tell,
off the shirt.
Yeah, he popped off the shirt, and all of a sudden the shots were a lot tighter on his face. It's like, Obviously, this was not planned for.
No.
It's not written in.
But really, like, who cares?
Prince, man. Prince,
Prince, good call, Coach.
Kyle Copeland coming in saying Prince was killer, especially with
Yeah.
pouring rain.
Yeah.
I remember they did an NFL Films kind of breaking that down. Awesome to watch, but not my cup of tea. Sound like Adam Levine doesn't do cardio. No halftime show will ever compare.
He did
with
seem
Prince.
gassed. He did seem
It's
gassed.
tiring up there.
Hey,
you know?
you gotta rip some cigs and then go hit the stage.
It's hard.
It's not going to be the easiest transition ever, but let's jump into some agree or disagree here, which is going to be pertinent and immediately relevant to the Super Bowl. So obviously, if you watched, we want your opinions on Periscope and on Facebook. Let's see here. Where do we want to start? I'm going to go right here in the middle.
Okay.
But given the defensive efforts of the Patriots, and this has been an immediate reaction of the game, and even for Sean McVay, but agree or disagree, Jared Goff is a mediocre quarterback.
I'm going to disagree with that. This was still the 11th highest scoring team ever. So, Jared Goff put on some displays this year.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, he is shown he's the guy that can get you to the Super Bowl. So, I don't think he's mediocre by any means.
Yeah.
I think he got rattled. I mean, that's for sure.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the stage was a little too big for him.
I think McVay may have gotten a little bit rattled because there wasn't this huge adjustment.
Now, is the Patriots D coordinator unspoken, basically the new Dolphins coach, or is that like
It's official.
That's official?
Official.
Okay.
Yeah, unofficially official.
Yeah.
But I know Zach Stacy for the Rams is with the Bengals now. I think that's the last two head coaches.
Is it Zach Stacy?
Yeah, Zach
Zach
Stacy.
Stacy, like the
No,
running
wait.
back for the Memphis Express?
You're thinking you're
Go Memphis Express!
Train's coming.
hashtag all aboard.
What is his name? I don't remember.
I'm looking it up.
But that, yeah, he was drawing it up last night,
Zach
man.
Taylor
Zach Taylor.
coming back from.
That cornerback that they had, number 24, was he a rookie?
For the Rams?
For Patriots, man. He was killing it all season.
Well, I know Patrick Chung broke his arm.
Patrick Chung got hurt.
in the
Yeah.
second quarter, and then I forget his name, but he came in, and I think that was the reason why McCourty came from
Gilmore.
Yeah.
all over. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
Played amazing.
Yeah, he's out of South Carolina. He's not. Yeah, he got drafted in 2012.
He played for the Bills over a bit, and then
Yeah.
I think he got traded over.
Okay, I see.
I mean, as far as him being a mediocre quarterback, I think he got shell-shocked for the sake of the stage. It's Tom Brady and the Patriots. The running game was not clicking, which obviously helps, as all of our Titans fans know, and us. It's like if your running game's not what it's supposed to be, your quarterback's going to have a whole lot more pressure on his back to perform. A couple comments coming in here. Alan Kavanaugh says, "You guys look like you guys just got out of jail." Maybe we did.
Yeah.
Who knows what we were doing before this? But Gavin Jones says, disagree. Goff is an 8 out of 10, and he's a good running back to spread the field. I don't think you can get much better than Todd Gurley.
yeah.
A healthy Todd Gurley. Let's say that. Because we don't know what his status was last night. 10 carries is
He
kind
had
of,
one catch. Yeah, 10 carries, 35 yards.
and that's been their bread and butter all year.
And
Yeah.
also, you had a C.J. Anderson that got 125 yards like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've got a good running game. It's
I
just
think it was a weird.
I think it was just because obviously the Rams defense for the Patriots, that was a struggle for them as well.
exactly.
So it's not like I was thinking at the beginning of the game, the last time we saw Brady really get pressured by a defensive line was when the Giants
Yeah.
were breathing down his neck every single play. And I think, and one interesting thing, of course, Tony Romo was using his magic crystal ball to tell us what was happening and breaking it down so well. But I'm thinking, usually, there's play action passes which cause the defense to shift one way, and you have a bootleg and find an open guy and get 10 or 15 yards. They did not do the Patriots stayed home.
Right.
They were in their usual lanes that they're supposed to be in, and that I think that shut down the offense. But also, I think Goff had some people in his face.
A little too much pressure on Goff.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have the run game going. And it seemed weird to me that because the game was never. Usually, when you see people abandon the run, one team is up a lot.
Yeah. Just like Gavin said, he said there's something going on behind the scenes.
Gurley, health wise.
There's got to be something lingering. I don't know what that is.
All right. Let me see here. I'll move on to the next one because
I mean, you didn't ask me, but I disagree.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It was dead quiet.
Yeah,
Salty.
I disagree. But, yeah.
So you think he's? Where do you think he would land in the pack?
I think he's top 15, like the top half of the league for sure. I think he'd right there around 10.
Really. Benjamin Lowry coming in, our Chattanooga rugby guy, says, agreed, mediocre. He's not exceptionally quick to avoid the pass rush. Doesn't pose a huge threat outside of the pocket. Patriots punished him inside the pocket many times. He dropped back 10 yards to try and get a pass off, and the defense is still touching him. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
But I want my quarterback in the pocket. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You want your quarterback in the pocket?
Always.
Really?
Yes, I'm sick of it, man. But yeah, how much if Marcus could have just stayed in the pocket the past few years? How much injury would he have?
But how much of that
avoided?
is his fault and not? Or whose fault is it? The offensive lines or his?
Yes.
So I think last night, I don't know if it was the stunts, but there was one time he rolled out and Van Noy came and just hit him.
Van Noy was in there
Yeah,
like swimwear.
all night long.
And it seemed like you could watch Aaron Donald's effect on the game and how he was getting penetration and demanding a double team like always, but he had like 5 total tackles. I mean, for them to keep him at bay that much, says something about the center out of Georgia. Forget his name. Andrews, yeah.
That is what his name is.
I mean, Pat's line did really well against Sue and Donald. I mean,
Yeah.
Evan Jones coming in here and says, would you trade Mariota for Goff?
today,
Yeah.
last week, I would have done it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a Madden 2018 setting where I just did a fantasy draft, and Jared Goff is the quarterback, and we're 5-0. It's
See,
simple.
but
It's science.
Here's
It's been
my
proven.
devil's advocate hypothetical.
Okay.
Sean McVay,
Okay.
and then this has been known. He's helping him call, or he has his radio in his helmet, correct?
Right.
Up until 15 seconds, they can audible plays. They can say, "Hey, this is what they're lining up in. Watch for this and look for this receiver." If Mariota has a Sean McVay
In his ear.
in his ear, because here's the thing, in the last 3 or 4 years, Mariota's either declined or stayed the same. Goff was a first round pick, bust.
Yeah.
Was his title for a season or whatever it was. I guess when Jeff Fisher was his last year, and all of a sudden McVay comes in and revitalizes his career. Now he's top 15.
He was touched by the hand of Sean.
He laid hands and the healing began. No, I just think that it's could you hypothetically yes, because it's great and he has the talent around him, but even like Brady what happens if Brady's with Sean McVay right now?
Oh Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What kind of scenarios play out for whatever player? Man, that's a good question, Gavin. It's hard to say for me. I'm not just a loyalist to Mariota because I think those guys, talent-wise, are very equal. I think Goff has a stronger arm. Mariota's more mobile, and I think, like Ben was saying a second ago, that Mariota has the ability to move and use his legs. But I'm very reluctant to say I would trade for.
Yeah, because the running things really worked for Cam Newton with his 2
He
shoulder
went to the
chokers.
Super Bowl. I'd take a Super Bowl.
I mean, I would take a Super Bowl. I don't think that's a question. I'm just saying. I don't want my quarterback running the ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
The escapability part helps. at times.
Mariota has. I mean,
It was not like Big Ben escapability. I'm cool with that. Like being able to step up and back, but it's another thing to tuck the ball down and run and put your head down.
but that's one guy at 32. I thought that he can really do that.
Well, he's just huge, but
But even like Russell Wilson and Cam and like Mariota.
yeah.
I mean, everyone has. Even Aaron Rodgers has mobility where he can really run.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just something. I mean, the hypothetical. I think Goff is a good quarterback,
Right.
but I think the system makes him
Absolutely.
much better than he actually is as far as that.
And they've kind of let him. They've weathered the storm with him too. They've let him suck.
Yeah.
And continued to put him at starter.
Right.
So that helps.
Let's hit up the first one we've got here that was the original number 1. But this is my take. I believe this first and foremost out of the gate. And for everybody watching, get your fingers ready to type in your response. But agree or disagree, as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are around, the Patriots will own the AFC.
I'm going to disagree. I really think, the Chiefs were one stupid offside play away from being there. And Patrick Mahomes is special.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I really believe next year they'll get that. They'll get that back 1 year under their belt, get a few more players back, and make some things work on defense because that defense is atrocious. But I think they rally back, and I think the Chiefs get it next year.
The Chiefs in the AFC.
Yeah,
You're already saying for next year they're going to the Super Bowl.
I think so.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I just think so many things can play out. I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just trying to see how many years in a row the Patriots have been to the AFC Championship. At least to the AFC Championship. Because my take with it...
7, 8. 8 years straight. But since 96 is more than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just scary, man. It's like, what voodoo are they doing down there?
It's just like, what is it? Roethlisberger, Manning, Brady,
Right.
Flacco.
Flacco's in there like once or twice.
Yeah, he's in there one time. You're like, oh my gosh.
And now he's about to be a free agent.
That goober.
Rumor be. I'm gonna say. I mean, obviously, I agree. I've thought of it, and there was other people that were saying that as well. I just don't think you ever bet against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Because the thing was, and there was a stat I think NFL Updates on Twitter put out. Think of who they lost: Nate Solder, Malcolm Butler. Dion Lewis came to the Titans, both of those guys. There was one other guy. Then they lost Isaiah Wynn, the first-round pick at left tackle, to an Achilles. Then they had a couple other injuries, and Josh Gordon is suspended indefinitely. Julian Edelman was suspended the first 4 games of the year, and they still get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like either they're embarrassing everybody else, and we're doing something. They're all doing something wrong. Titans and Colts and whoever else. And then there's just the Patriots, and they find a way in.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things, to me, it's hard for me, because of history, to think anything different going forward.
Yeah, I think it's theirs for the taking. You got to think at some point, though, I don't know. I thought he needed more help this year to get back, but he didn't.
Brady?
Yeah. Brady and Belichick, both. I mean, it's like, okay, Edelman's good. You know, Gronk's kind of banged up.
Yeah.
I mean, Michelle I thought was huge this year.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny Michelle getting a real running back. Because James White's a pretty good back, but...
Yeah. Those guys served their purpose. You know, you get, like you said, Dion Lewis, but having Michelle, Burkhead, this weird 3-headed monster with White, it was nice. And then you definitely saw the number one come out with Sonny Michelle.
Yeah, and Burkhead was out for the majority of the beginning of the season, I think, with some sort of injury.
I think, too, I mean, last night you could see both quarterbacks weren't stepping fully into their passes, and there were a couple one-hoppers. But I'm just thinking, I know when Peyton Manning, that last Super Bowl that he was in,
that was sad.
It was evident, like, all right.
He had lost.
The arm has taken a step back.
Yeah.
Sorry, game.
Yeah, won that. They won that in spite of him, which I'm glad they did. But it hurt me. That whole season hurt me to watch Peyton play.
That neck surgery really changed everything.
Yeah. That defense, I mean, that was fantastic. But a few comments here. Matt Wynn coming in saying he disagrees. Gavin Jones disagreed. Mahomes is coming, guaranteed he will pick up a defensive free agent to make a good draft pick. My question for you guys is, where does Kareem Hunt land? Let's jump on that in just a second. Craig Story, disagree. I think Gronk will retire. I also agree with Chase about the Chiefs. And then Steven Snyder disagreed. Tom Brady looked rattled last night, and he'll be 42 soon. And still has that arm, though.
How much do you guys think that first pick? Because the guy that got the pick was the corner that was talking so much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they just came out and was like, we're going to throw at this guy no matter what?
Just to make a point.
Yeah, just to make a point.
It wouldn't shock me.
Because, I mean, that's just very Tom Brady. He's like, no matter what, I'm going to go throw at this guy. And he threw a bad ball.
I think I batted up. I mean, bad decision.
Yeah.
I just think that might have been the ego. Like, you talked, and we heard you the whole week. And it was probably on replay in the facility, and we know where you live. So
Corey Littleton that came down with it was a linebacker.
Yeah, Littleton.
He also had 10 tackles, led the team in tackles. So
no big deal.
He did his part.
Right. But yeah, I think I want to see the Patriots fall. I think, my wife and a friend of ours over as well. They both wanted the Patriots to lose just because it's like they've been there forever.
I'm tired of it.
But which leads me to my next question. And for everyone watching, continue to give us your opinions and your takes. This is something that's a lot of fun with you guys. But the Patriots, agree or disagree, the Patriots dynasty is the best in sports history.
Agree. I'm agreeing. I think maybe the Celtics, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the only other thing.
Yankees.
Yeah, I was gonna say Yankees would be my like.
Spurs. It's really
Oh, wow.
close. Yeah, because you're talking about. That's the only ones that I can think of.
Has anyone else really been to that many consecutive? You said like 8 straight consecutive.
No.
That's
AFC
conference championships.
So it's,
No. Tom Brady has won more Super Bowls than most franchises.
he's won as many as the Steelers. Now.
Yeah, and the
He's
Steelers
won
are like
number 6.
were the gold standard before
Right.
this run
Yeah.
with Tom.
Poured out for the Steelers. They're falling apart.
They are.
Bunny trail there. Juju
Yeah.
Smith-Schuster was on somewhere, and he was like, "Oh, what a roller coaster, man!"
So you gotta stop being the Kardashians.
That's what I said. I was like, "Thank you, Juju."
I like
You said what's in my mind because they do. It feels like the Kardashians out there.
Ooh, Kyle Copeland coming in saying modern day. He's agreeing with the modern day take. Can't beat the Bill Russell Celtics.
That's what the only ones.
Lakers, Jerry West, Kareem, Wilt, Magic, Kobe, LeBron. Hard to argue with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
The Lakers were more sporadic though. They would hit a
Yeah.
couple and then they would go off for a few years and get another round of players and then hit a couple more.
But my thing, like I was sitting there last night, I was like, I've been watching this team do this since I was in middle school.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm married with 2 kids now, and it's like good. My whole like adult life, I've seen the Patriots dominating.
But with the Lakers, like Curry was just to reiterate his point, was you had the Shaq and Kobe, and then you had really bad with just Kobe.
Right.
Yeah, he was scoring
Yeah.
81 points, but they were also like 29 and 30,
Yeah.
50 or
The
something.
next best player was Metta World Peace.
Yeah, so it's one of those like and then they came back and they had Dwight and they had Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum. Those were 2 good teams, but
Right.
they had no middle ground.
Yeah.
The Patriots are good all the time. Matt Castle won 13 games.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But Driscoll was leading them to he was like they were first in the division when Driscoll was throwing the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
that just shows you, to me, I don't know. That's an argument to me that it's Belichick and not Brady, is the fact that Matt Castle or what Garoppolo even got a couple wins.
Yeah.
And then
Driscoll.
got a fat payday out of
fat
it.
payday.
So if you had a fantasy draft right now, and you're buying a franchise, you're taking Brady, or excuse me, Tom. Who am I trying to say? Belichick over any other player. Curtis.
I mean, now he's getting up there.
But
You're going to start a franchise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could freeze him in time.
If you can get a coach, or if
Okay.
you're building it from the ground up,
I mean, I think you got to.
you would if you had the choice, if you're taking
There's
Belichick
Sean
or
McVay just
Brady.
for his girlfriend. No, I think if you're building, you want to go younger with like
Sean
McVay,
McVay
LaFleur, even we don't know about
No,
that
no.
yet. But but you
You
want
want your crab on the floor?
yeah, but you want to go young. I mean, that just seems to translate so much better with the players these days. I mean, Belichick is a fossil in so many senses because the Patriot organization is the old school. Don't ask questions. If you don't do it, the next man up will.
Right.
Like people, it's a players' league now.
Right.
Like everyone pampers these guys. They don't have any of that
Sean
in New
McVay's
England.
33 years old.
Yeah.
33.
Sean McVay. What was the stat with Sean McVay and Edelman? Were they both? Didn't they play against
played
each other
each
in
other.
college or something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
think so.
Yeah.
But Gavin Jones comes in here and having a good night as far as his input. But it says, what about Alabama football?
Yeah, that's up there.
They are probably, I would say, at least top 3, and Patriots are in there too, and the Celtics and the teams that we're talking about. But
back in the day, Celtics, I mean, it was just clear and obvious. But nowadays, modern day, yeah.
Kyle Copeland says Bill Russell won 11 championships in his 13-year career.
Yep.
Drive this point home.
All right, let's pick one more of the other ones that we've got here. I'm going to take that one off the table. Oh, let's do this. It's a hot topic right now. What do you think about that? You see that?
Yeah.
Number 2 there.
Do it.
Agree or disagree, and in light of the controversy, that the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl. And I'm going to plead my case. Go ahead.
Should have been in the sense like they were the best team or they got robbed on the call.
Both.
I disagree, man. I'm sorry. Win the game.
Yeah.
Win the game. You had the game. You're gonna let one call flip the whole script, no.
No.
I mean, and Brees threw a pick after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple things that the defense let them back in the game.
Yeah.
I disagree, man.
Trey Wallace comes in. Big Saints fan from Mobile.
Yeah.
Trey says, yes, they should have been. I'm going to disagree.
I wanted them to be. I like Drew Brees.
Oh, look at him backpedal. Now
No,
Trey
I wanted
Wallace
them.
is-
No.
I would rather them be there.
I would rather them be there, but they didn't deserve it, in my opinion.
No, win that game. Don't put yourself in 3rd and 10.
Right.
You know?
If you win the coin toss in overtime and you have the ball, and this is Drew Brees, I have a lot of respect for Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He says, I focus on what I can control.
Way more likable than Tom Brady.
Way more likable. But now, for the sake of the game, I would have loved to have seen
Tom and Drew
Oh,
Brees.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think the ratings came out today, one of the lowest in the last 10 years as far as viewership and Nielsen ratings and all that stuff.
Well, New Orleans, I was listening to the sports local radio here. New Orleans was like the lowest ratings ever, obviously, they were salty.
Yeah.
Kansas City, salty.
Yeah.
And then St. Louis.
Salty.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would, if I'm, because I have I have a buddy that's a Rams fan that has been a Rams fan,
From the beginning.
since I mean, he's my age.
Yeah.
So he didn't see them
Since
in
old
LA.
Kurt Warner was.
No.
But he saw the St. Louis Rams in their heyday and kind of stuck with them through really rough years before they left town.
Yeah.
And you got to think, and he's an LA Rams fan now, but I would think a lot of people would be like, I'm done with them.
Yeah.
Maybe now I'm a Bears fan, or I don't know what you would jump to.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Right. I just think, like you were saying, that play did not determine the game. That play would have given you the opportunity to kick a field goal, win that game.
It's an awful call.
But you
Don't get
got-
me wrong. Or no,
Absolutely. But at the same time, and that's why, again, Drew Brees saying if we can control what we can control, we should have won the game on our own. But for the sake of the game, that's kind of my double-edged sword. For the sake of last night's game, it would have been way more fun and entertaining to see Kamara and Ingram. I mean, Michael Thomas, he's against that secondary. I would have loved to watch that.
What's funny is I think that we would have saw the opposite game because I don't think you would have had Tom Brady get rattled. I think it's one of those that he would have Tom would have stepped up because Drew Brees wouldn't have only scored 3 points. Like, that just wouldn't have happened. You could see Goff got caught up in the moment. That's fine. The kid's, 24, 25?
Yeah.
First Super Bowl, you got 2 weeks, all that media attention. It's going to catch up to you. He didn't play it right. He'll probably learn from it. But last night, man, if you would have had Tom Brady and Drew Brees,
Everybody's watching.
I'm
Would have been
thinking-
one for the books.
I think that would have been one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
Now, I think, too, for Goff's sake, I'm sure we'll see him back in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
And he'll say at that point in time, that first time in Atlanta, it was so much. Because you got to think, those guys are sitting in press boxes, and people are just shoving their mics in their face and just say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then immediately after the game, they're walking off and going to a presser.
Yeah.
And Sean McVay talked for, 8 or 10 minutes about it, and I got out-coached.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so much to happen in 7 days or 2 weeks or whatever it
And
is.
they get there, on Monday?
A week before.
Yeah, a week
I mean,
before.
it's a lot, especially being away from home. You're out of your routine, but that's one of those things to me that pouring out for the Saints, but sorry.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's jump over to some Tennessee Volunteer basketball.
Get to basketball.
Got another great game this last Saturday, I think it was,
16 straight.
if my memory serves me correct.
Longest ever?
Yeah, dude.
Streaked by the Vols, right?
Yeah.
Win streak?
I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
Vols take it 93-76 against the Texas A&M Aggies. Played in Texas in College Station. Went out with a friend of mine to Buffalo Wild Wings. Watched it and dude, I'll spend some cash on Buffalo Wild Wings.
Sure will.
But we sat there and all of a sudden I think it was the Indiana game that was wrapping up. ESPN had it and people were kind of losing it.
They were losing it.
Why are we not turning the game on? Some writers was like, look, I work at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't work at ESPN. We were sitting there cracking up about it. But yeah, that was something for me coming out the gate. I loved it, and we had talked about this before. They're letting these teams, Alabama and Florida, kind of just stick around for too long, but they came out quick. But then all of a sudden A&M starts creeping back in. I'm thinking, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in my mind, not that I'm being a pessimist or just waiting for a loss. It's like, all right, it's a lot to go 16 straight. It's a lot to go through the SEC part of our schedule. and really push through. I'm just thinking, when is it going to happen? But I'm still encouraged every single game to see that stuff happen. Kind of coming out slow or whatever it is, and then they can still bounce back and compete at a high level.
Exactly, and it's one of those you're going to get those flurries at home. Like I didn't get to watch all the game. We were kind of at a restaurant and we didn't have a great view, but it was okay. Like we got to watch most of it. But knowing that we came out, stepped on the throats, and then of course we come out of half and ease up, and they come back on this run. I guess what it was. Got within 2?
It was within 2, yeah.
About 13 minutes left.
Midway through this second.
Yeah, so it's one of those that to watch us withstand that flurry and then still come out and dominate the whole second half of the second half.
Right.
Keep their wits about them.
Yeah.
That shows maturity. I mean, that shows you when we have older players.
Home team. Yeah.
And you watch, and it was funny to see not funny, but the crowd was just super into it.
Yeah.
And Texas A&M is pretty, they 8-12.
Yeah.
1-7 in SEC play, but the number one team comes to town.
Yeah, everybody's coming.
I remember how that is. I remember when Steph Curry came and played UTC at Davidson.
Yeah.
Like I was out in the cold waiting on tickets. I was like fifth in line.
Yeah.
Like the day the tickets came on sale. Like I was not gonna miss Steph Curry. But yeah, the number one team comes to town. Student section's rocking.
Yeah.
Sold out arenas everywhere, it's pretty cool. I think they have I think this team has like a kind of a chip on their shoulder more so than any one-loss team has had in a long time because people, like you said, people are expecting us to at some point fall.
I mean, I think it's going to happen either Kentucky or whenever that time comes. I'm just thinking and Craig Story comes in and says, I have concerns about the Vols' defense. I agree. There were so many opportunities in that game for A&M just to have a wide open 3-shot, and they landed quite a few of them, which led to them kind of creeping back into the game.
Yeah.
So for me, it's one of those things. Again, I'm not a basketball guru, but we've watched enough this season to really understand how the Vols. I mean, it's great that you can come back. We were talking about before the show. Like, I want to see them dismantle a team like they did Georgia at home, and that was an incredible environment. We were there, thanks to Van Cards, but it's one of those things. Like, I love a good game.
Yeah.
But we are the number one team in the country, and it's like, why are we still allowing a 1-7 SEC conference play team to come back within 2 points after what was the deficit? I don't know.
Vandy's 0-6, and they took us to the wire.
Yeah,
took us to overtime, right?
We should not have won that game.
Lineup wise, we'll talk about Pons later in the lack of minutes, but. When we subbed Lamonte in for Pons, it was kind of like a telltale sign that we're going to shoot the rock.
Yeah.
We're playing less defense. Jordan Bones is a great defensive player. Sco and Williams are good. Kyle Alexander's come a long way.
Yeah.
Schofield's cold.
Cold as ice.
Bad.
From 3.
Yeah.
He attacked the paint a little bit more. He started finishing. But he's still.
He just only doesn't settle for threes when he's missing.
Yeah.
Like if he gets that mid range, he fights down to the block and gets a contested shot. I'd rather see him miss those than those forced up threes that he's.
But it seems like he likes his shot to the left of the top of the key, or he's at an angle, and he goes there, and it's like, all right, let's go, come on.
Yeah.
And he just misses it.
Just missing.
It's like, I know you got your comfort zones, but let's.
I want to know how many times Grant Williams goes to the spin move. Because it seems like every time. Back to the basket, square up, spin, shoot. Like, and no one's stopping it.
You still can't stop it. It's
He's a great player, man. Like, he really is.
Unbelievable. One of the best finishers. I mean, the guy finishes through abusive contact all the time. Fadeaways, touch shots, like just awkward shots. Because when you're that... I mean, he's still small for a power forward or center because he's still our 5 most of the time. So when you're running down the floor and you're only 6'7", and he's a good athlete. He's definitely gotten much more athletic in this weight program, but he's still not skying over. He's no Zion.
He's not jumping over people.
No.
Do y'all think he's hurting his NBA draft stock?
No.
Not at all.
Someone said that.
He's National Player of the Year last year. He could be this year, right? Or was it just national or just SEC?
SEC. He could be National Player.
Man, but Jordan Bone was player of the game, very much deserved. Didn't miss a shot. Went 7-7 from the field, 4-4 from 3. We've talked about his defense a lot.
Yeah.
He's a lockdown defender in a point guard position that's huge.
Yeah,
because that puts pressure on opposing teams trying to run sets and such when your point guard's his head down dribbling trying to get this dude off me. He's not going to see the open runner.
Yeah, his change of pace, and then he's such a good passer. I mean, 10 assists, 2 turnovers. That's it. I mean, that's a 5-to-1 ratio for a point guard in college is monstrous. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about. I know, Kibby, you've got a couple things here as far as agree or disagree for the Vols. We talked about. I think it was the Georgia game that Bone came back. Is that right? Jordan Bone was his first game back from injury.
Yeah,
but he's come back and seemed to have closed any gap or rust that he might have coming off the bench.
Monte Turner you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to think if that was Jordan Bone or not, but yeah, Bone's. I'll go to the second one here as far as agree or disagree, but Jordan Bone is the second best player on this team, and if you're watching with us still, you can throw it up and tell us if you agree or disagree with that. But after that game, like you said, player of the game,
deservedly.
Gotta give him some credit where it's due.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree. I right now, I mean, lights out right now. I mean, he's been our most consistent player outside of Grant. I mean, even probably more so than Grant, especially in SEC play. So, I don't know. It's just, Sco's falling off as far as outside shooting, like we were just talking about, getting in the lane more, doing more things. But, man, cold as ice in these games. But, yeah, I'd say Bone's our second.
I know he's frustrated, too, which is,
Oh, yeah, you got to be.
But I think it's good for a guy like Bone to come in and capitalize and have his opportunities. And not to debate their, who's better or whatnot. I just love watching Grant Williams.
Yeah.
If he can stay out of foul trouble and then, like you were saying, he can spin move underneath the basket, but just his ability to draw fouls and as consistent as he is at the line, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
You just have that kind of confidence where it's like, we can do that too. If you want to play that kind of game down low, we got a guy who can shoot pretty well too. So
I think going into the season, and even maybe still most people regard Admiral as the second best player, and then that's not a bad look either. You can argue that in several ways, even though he has gone kind of cold. But man, I don't think anybody's done more for this team this year than Bone. He looks NBA ready. We've heard a lot of people say that he is the most draftable player on the Vols.
Jordan Bone is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man.
You're talking about speed, 6'2".
Yeah, horse speed. And just in defense, man, there's a lot of point guards that fill it up in the NBA. You kind of want somebody to come in and get in somebody's face about, disrupt their game a little bit. Sco and Williams are a little undersized for their positions. Neither of them shoot well enough to make up for their lack of height.
A few comments coming in here, though, but let's see here. Gavin Jones saying, agree, Schofield is either hot or cold, but hot take, Grant Williams will be a huge bust in the NBA.
I don't think so. Grant's too good all around. He'll be an elite rebounder, or he'll be a guy that can run
a role player.
He'll be a pick and roll guy that can pick and pop. He's too good.
I don't think
he works too hard.
Depending on where he goes, I don't think he'll necessarily start. Maybe be like 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
But he's the type of guy. He's smart enough to know his role, and he will find his fit, I guess, in the NBA. It's not going to be what he's doing right now. That little spin move is not going to work on Giannis.
But Craig Story, just one more comment here, disagrees. Says, but Bones' play will determine how far we go in March.
Exactly,
in my
absolutely.
Always. Guard play March.
Guard play.
What were you going to say, Kibby? You want to move us to the next one?
Yeah, man. We talked about this earlier. Pons got 5 minutes versus A&M, and he got 10 versus South Carolina. That's the last 2 games. This is a guy that was starting to begin the year. His length and defense seemed to really affect opposing teams.
Yeah.
And we'd had Lamonte coming off, so the shift there. But the agree or disagree is Pons needs more minutes. I agree. I don't necessarily believe he should start over Lamonte Turner because instant offense. Turner. I mean, he's probably the best shooter. We have.
You get a call?
Let's see what that is. We're still going live on Periscope, so
nice. I just think scheme wise, you kind of want him out there on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Just the length that he gives, it really makes it tough for that the elbow shots. A lot of the offense seems to get jammed up when Pons is on the court. But everything all right?
Yeah. We lost Periscope, so RIP Periscope.
See you Twitter.
We had a good run.
What do you think, man? Pons need more minutes?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You know, it seemed like we were doing just fine. Lamonte's defense stepping up this year, him being quicker, and I thought, okay, he's not a liability at all. I mean,
right.
we saw him, and then, but I also saw at times, especially in the Alabama game, thanks fan cards, that Pons got lost a lot, and I thought, man, that's just out of character for him because he overhelps.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those that, you know, if you get Pons out, he wants to go over there and alter shots, which you can at any point. I don't care if you're 6'10", whoever you are, Pons wants to block your shot, and he's going to. So you're always thinking about that, but guys start to see that, and then he left wide open corner threes in the game. So it's one of those that maybe, I don't know, I guess maybe he's just getting a little lost.
He's younger.
Yeah, he's getting overzealous.
He's not an offensive player like...
No.
Even if they were to start Bowden, like that would be a big improvement as far as offensively over Pons. But
I kind of like what happened in the A&M game, just for the sake of, you know, letting Bone do his thing. Once Schofield comes back to, I guess, his usual, I could see them working in. I think they're just too dependent on, like, I guess, 2 or 3 of those guys right now to really. And Pons,
a lot
like
of
you
people are
said,
saying.
Pons almost seems a little bit too disoriented or kind of
just overzealous. I think he wants to, he wants to cover ground. And everybody wants to get a big shot block, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come across the lane.
I love what he brings to the team. It's even just like you look across that line, and it's like that dude's huge.
Yeah.
His wingspan, like, I mean, what he can do, but again, it just seems to. And I'm a 6'5" guy. I barely played any basketball growing up, but I know in the paint what a guy can do like that to really force a team to move outside. But he seems so just all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my uneducated take on it. But let's see here. We're at the 8 o'clock mark. Let's run to the last segment here, and we'll let the kiddies get to some Game of Thrones. Speaking of Game of Thrones, we're going to close our show tonight out with a final segment called, and this is a feel it out and we'll see where we're going from here kind of thing. But the segment's called What You Watching? And we want to talk about what you guys are watching. Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, whatever it is. What's hot right now?
I just recently got through The Punisher Season 2. And if you just need a good, overly violent, gorilla grunting show, that's fantastic. What a weekend I had watching that. You guys?
It might be hard pressed to get the wife or girlfriend on board to put on The Punisher.
You would be surprised.
Really?
We took Chase's advice. And this is something, I'm a big Marvel guy, and Amanda's like, my wife is like, is this a superhero thing? I'm like,
is this one of those?
Yes, but no.
Yeah.
Because it's
the gritty.
It starts out, I forget his name, but the guy from The Walking Dead.
I don't know what that
gosh, he is the perfect Punisher.
Perfect.
I mean, ex-military guy. Obviously, if you know the story about the Punisher, loses his wife and his kids. Don't know how or what or why on the show, at least where I'm at right now. But the first 2 or 3 episodes, my wife was like, all right, I freaking love this.
It's great.
Yeah.
And my wife is the kind of woman that's like, you mess with my family, I'm gonna claw your face off.
Yeah, Mama Bear comes out.
Yeah, Mama Bear, yeah. For the record. But it's one of those things that there was one shot, and in the first episode, there's a guy who kind of bullies him. He's on the construction team or whatever. And I'm just waiting, like, you gotta just pummel this dude.
Yeah.
And no spoilers, but you get sucked in pretty quickly. But we're rewatching Game of Thrones. I think we talked about that a little bit last week.
We're watching Game of Thrones. You're watching Game of Thrones.
Yes. If you're
getting ready for April.
Yeah, if you're not rewatching Game of Thrones right now, come on.
Yeah.
Get with it. And if you've never watched it
About
before,
that time.
Find a friend of yours who has watched it and trust them.
Yeah.
Because they're a good person.
I know.
And they will take care of you.
I know our boy Blaze Keelan, the man that won the fan card sweepstakes, he is falling in love, and that boy put in some work.
Yeah.
2 seasons worth this weekend. So just to give you an idea of somebody I didn't think would watch Game of Thrones,
Like-
put in work.
Man, that's how many hours is that? It's like
It's a lot.
30 hours.
Let's see. I think he started.
Well, it depends on which season.
He was
The
the
first
end,
seasons were longer.
Yeah, he was the end of. He was. Well, I guess it was probably like a season and a quarter.
Yeah.
Still,
Whew.
you're looking at
Yeah.
17.
Lots to
17
take in,
hours?
too. I've been
That's a
watching
lot.
True Detective, man, the new season.
Yeah.
So season 1 was like one of the best series I've ever
For a
watched.
long time.
Matthew McConaughey was born for that role. He's pretty limited as far as acting goes. He's no Keanu Reeves, but
He's
that's,
no
that's, that's
Keanu
for you,
Reeves.
Kyle Copeland, if you're still listening.
Be like spoiler if you did.
But yeah, that Rust, that was the perfect role for him. Second season, not so great. I kind of just sucked it up and finished it. Honestly, we were talking the other day. I don't even remember how it ended.
No idea.
I don't really care to
Couldn't tell you.
rewatch it. But this new season seems to be pretty good so far.
Yeah.
You're watching it too, right? I haven't watched
I
the one that
watched
came
the
out
most
last
recent.
night.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. That's it.
Okay, episode 3 was great.
3 kind of ties it all together.
Okay, that's good.
It's a very good show. HBO put out some killer stuff. Have you watched Westworld?
Oh yeah, love
Oh
Westworld.
yeah, that's
You
really
watched
good.
it?
Yeah.
You guys are great. We watched the show on Netflix. It's called You. Have
Yeah. Oh yeah, we watched all of you.
Oh,
We got sucked in.
We
in
did
a
too.
Heartbeat.
It was like cringy.
It was.
It was like the most
And
cringy
it's-
show I've watched in a while.
It's weird because if for anyone who doesn't know, it's about a guy who basically sees a girl at his library or bookstore. He works or owns it or manages it or whatever. Sees a girl walk in, and all of a sudden it's an immediate obsession.
yeah.
And from there, you're thinking, okay, this is not obviously realistic, but you're like almost rooting for the guy. It's like
yeah.
it's weird feel, but at the same time, check out You on Netflix. Trying to see if there's any
Let's
other
see.
dark horses.
Let's say
out there.
what are the comments saying? Anybody got
Let's
something we
see.
have
The
to watch?
100 from Gavin Jones.
It's incredible. That's on. Let me see the 100.
It's on Netflix, I think.
That's the one. I'm trying to think. I saw the previews for it. When nuclear Armageddon destroys civilization on Earth, the only survivors are those in the 12 international space stations in orbit at the time. 3 generations later, the 4,000 survivors survivors living on a space ark are linked to the station for more resources. It's a little futuristic. It's on the CW.
Oh.
Is what it is.
Did y'all watch The Handmaid's Tale? Do y'all have Hulu?
Uh-uh.
Oh man.
I've heard it's good.
Oh.
Post-apocalyptic.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, apocalyptic's a stretch, but it's post-nuclear fallout. Yeah, just watch it.
Well,
Trust
the-
me.
okay.
It's
the
like
Oscars-
so worth a watch.
I'll say the Oscars are happening in a few weeks. If you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody,
Oh,
haven't seen-
gotta try it.
if you have not seen A Star Is Born,
Those are, as soon as they come out for rent, I'll watch
yeah,
them.
watch
I'm not much of a theater guy.
do it.
Unless it's
I'm
like-
That's
so-
the Mar-
Like
Marvel-
Infinity Wars was the
Yeah.
last one I think I watched.
Marvel movies. I
You're
watched
such an old man. I've been in theater about 30 years.
Yeah, no, it's just
I
like
went to the cinema last week.
$13 and other people's laughter just like rules me out.
No, my
Like,
least favorite thing is when the credits roll and people start clapping.
yeah,
I
or
hate
just
it.
clapping in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't like that. I went to watch Aquaman probably 2 weeks later, and people still clapped.
Really?
I was like, "Stop it! Sit down up there, third row."
not
DC
seen
just
that.
doesn't do it for me.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Gavin comes back and says, "This is us." Hits me hard in the feels.
it's you hard in the field, bro.
Hey, whatever gets you there, buddy.
It's true. It's true. Well, fellas, we're a little past 8 o'clock, but any other
That's
shows?
right, man.
I think, let's see, Jordan Welch came in and said Netflix, he's watching Jurassic Park 3, best movie. He said, and then Nate Metcalf comes in, gripping stuff, fellas.
Gripping.
It's our podcast. You don't like
Or leave it. Gripping stuff. Hey, go Vols, though. Go
Yeah.
Braves, Preds, and the Titans.
Oh, pitchers catchers report
That's right.
the 12th.
The 12th for the Braves. We're
That team.
This is officially I guess now that the Memphis Express are about to kick off
baby.
and win the Alliance Championship. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, we're looking forward to some baseball. And for everyone who's watched, check us out at chat10sports.com for all of our articles, podcasts, rewatch the show, and interact with us and share with your friends. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week.